The Sundown Motel cut its neon off at 9. The diner locked its door and left me standing in the pine. I filled my tank with the last of what I had and pulled back on the Highway at 9, feeling twice as bad. The radio found a signal somewhere west of Clare. A steel guitar was crying like it knew that I was there. The yellow lines kept coming like a promise in the dark, and I drove to keep from thinking about the ache inside my heart. The last light on Highway 9 is a memory she left behind, burning like a signal flare out in the lonesome blue. I'm driving toward the darkness 'cause I can't drive back to you. The last light on Highway 9. Old man at a filling station somewhere near the state line had kind eyes and a coffee pot and too much of my time. He said, son, you look like someone who just lost his war. I said, just tired from the driving, sir, and headed for the door. He called out that road don't end as I cranked the engine up. I left him with $1 wave and drove away enough. Some men need a destination, some just need the wheels. I'm the second kind of fellow running from the way it feels. The last light on Highway 9 is a memory she left behind, burning like a signal flare out in the lonesome blue. I'm driving toward the darkness 'cause I can't drive back to you. The last light on Highway 9. Lord, I'm not asking for a reason. I'm not asking you to turn this truck around. I just need that last light burning till I find whatever's left of solid ground. The last light on Highway 9. There's a neon Lone Star blinking in the window of this place, and a jukebox in the corner playing songs about her face. I set my hat down on the bar stool to my right, so nobody sits too close to me tonight. The barman knows my order and he pours it without words. The smoke hangs in the lamplight like a chorus no one heard. I'm not here to celebrate and I ain't here to cry. I'm just here to let the evening go on by. Smoke and a jukebox, that's all I need tonight. Smoke and a jukebox and a bourbon burning right. She left me with a Tuesday and a real cold bed, so I'm trading her sweet memory for this song instead. Smoke and a jukebox, smoke and a jukebox. There's a couple She packed her things on a Sunday without putting on a show. The fiddle on that record's crying harder than I can. I drop another quarter in and tip my hat to that piano man. 'Cause silence in a honky-tonk's the saddest thing alive. And that jukebox keeps me breathing, keeps me 5 for 5. Smoke in a jukebox, that's all I need tonight. Smoke in a jukebox and a bourbon burning right. She left me with a Tuesday and a real cold bed, so I'm trading her sweet memory for this song instead. Smoke in a jukebox. I don't need your sympathy, don't need nobody saving me. Just need this old world lets her run until her face quits haunting me. Barman calls that last round about 9:15. I leave him what I owe him and I step into the pine. The gravel lot is quiet and the stars are burning cold, and I drive home in the silence of a man who's getting old.
You're listening to the greatest country classics, straight from the dusty roads of Texas to your heart. Grab your coffee, turn up the volume, and keep riding with this unforgettable classic country collection.
Billy came home in October on a bus that smelled of diesel and of rain. He stepped out on the main street of his county, and the county didn't call his name. The barbershop had changed its sign to Franklin. The Rexall moved a block down toward the square. His old girl wore a ring from someone steady, and his mama had gone gray from waiting there. Billy came home in October when the leaves had all let go. He carried something heavy in his left breast, something no one here would know. The flag above the courthouse looked a little faded. The crowd was somewhere else. Billy came home in October, and October kept to itself. His daddy shook his hand across the kitchen table. His sister made the cornbread and the gravy thick and warm. They talked around the edges of the hard years, like a family talks around a forming storm. He didn't mention names of those who didn't make it, didn't ask about the girl, didn't ask about the ring. Just thank the Lord out loud for passing biscuits, and let the table be a quiet, holy thing. Billy came home in October when the leaves had all let go. He carried something heavy in his left breast, something no one here would know. The flag above the courthouse looked a little faded. The crowd was somewhere else. Billy came home in October, and October kept to itself.
Lord, I'm not asking for a medal. I'm not standing in no parade. Just one hand on my shoulder, Father, to say you saw what sacrifice was made. One candle in the window, one face that stayed awake. Just let me know it mattered before the memory breaks.
Now Billy works the feed store down on Milligan. He sweeps the floor at close and stacks the bags of grain. Some Sunday mornings you'll find him in the second pew, singing hymns a little softer than the men who never knew. That old radio knows too much about hearts like mine. Every song feels like a memory frozen somewhere in time. There's static in the speaker and rain upon the glass, but these lonely highway ballads still hit me just as fast. The radio knows every tear I hide, every road I've taken trying to survive. And somewhere between the verses and those old steel guitar cries, I hear pieces of my story late at night while driving by. A trucker at a red light nodded as the chorus played. Guess heartbreak sounds the same no matter where you came. Funny how strangers connect through songs and midnight roads. The radio knows what I never say, that I'm still searching for myself somewhere far away. She wore her apron like it was a Sunday dress, and poured my coffee like she couldn't care for less. But when she smiled across that counter, Lord above, I knew I was in trouble with the kind you can't unlove. She said she had her sights set on the coast back east, or maybe Nashville's somewhere bigger than a crease. I said, honey, you belong on somebody's radio. She laughed and said, least, and spun her heel to go. Donna Lee from Abilene, with your silver ring and your tired green eye, you deserved a man who stayed, not one who's always driving. You deserve better than 1,000 goodbyes. Donna Lee, I was the wrong kind, baby, but Lord, you were the right. Donna Lee from Abilene, I still see that diner light. I stayed 3 nights at the Pineview Motor Lodge and ate my breakfast in that corner
with the best intentions I'd ever hold. Then Tuesday came around the way that Tuesdays do. I paid my tab and left a tip and never followed through. I've thought of her in 100 roadside towns since then, and wondered if a man like me deserves a chance again. Donna Lee from Abilene, with your silver ring and your tired green eyes, you deserved a man who stayed, not one who's always driving. You deserve better than 1,000 goodbyes. Donna Lee, I was the wrong kind, baby, but Lord, you were the right. Donna Lee from Abilene, I still see that dime alive. I wonder if she made it out to Nashville. Bet she's singing on some stage beneath the lights. Bet she is. Bet she is. So if you ever pass through Abilene on the southbound lane, stop into the Sunrise Diner on 5th and say his name. Tell her that a fool out on the highway sends his love. Tell her that the coffee was the best. Tell her that was enough. My daddy never told me that he loved me out loud, but I watched him bend his back beneath the Georgia cloud. He laid that farm down row by row with these two hands alone, and I left at 17 one morning just before the dawn. I told myself I had a bigger life to find. Told myself this red clay road was holding back my mind. He stood there at the kitchen window watching me go. Didn't call me back, didn't put on a show. Red clay road leading out from home. Red clay road, that's where I turned to stone. Walked away from everything those calloused hands had made. Red clay road, I didn't understand the price he paid. That he loved me like a river loves the land. I sent him cards at Christmas when I thought about it right. I called on his birthday if the mood was in the night. But drifts a quiet river and it carries men along, and before you know the distance, it's already gone too long. Then one March a voice on the telephone said, "Come." I drove that red clay road like I was driving to the sun. He was lying in the morning light, thinner than the air, and he smiled and said, "You made it, boy," like I'd never left there. Red clay road leading out from home. Red clay road, that's where I turned to stone. Walked away from everything those calloused hands had made. Red clay road, I didn't understand the price he paid. That he loved me like a river loves a land. I held his hand and said, "I'm sorry." He just smiled and said, "Boy, you're all right." 4 words that outlived every harvest. 4 words burn bright. Red clay road leading back to home. Red clay road, I'm done turning to stone. I'll carry everything he built inside these two old hands. Red clay road, now I finally understand. He loved me like a river loves the land.
The rig broke down in Shreveport on a Wednesday afternoon. The parts won't come till Friday, and I can't get there too soon. Tell little Tommy that his daddy's thinking every mile. And Ruby, honey, leave that porch light on a little while. I passed a house in Arkansas, all dark from front to back. A man out on the shoulder with no reason to go back. I thought of you and how that light looks from a lonesome road. Drove a little faster underneath my heavy load. Ruby, don't turn off the porch light, leave it burning through the night. I know I've asked this more times than I had any right. But Ruby, that light's the only star I've got out here tonight. Ruby, don't turn off the porch light, not tonight. I called from a payphone at a truck stop near the line. The operator put me through on just a dime and a dime. You answered on the second ring, I heard the kids behind. And Ruby, I just needed to hear everything was fine. I know this life ain't easy, and I know the bed runs cold. I know you didn't bargain for this working man's road. But every mile I drive out here, I drive it back to you. And that yellow light you leave on is the truest thing I knew. Ruby, don't turn off the porch light, leave it burning through the night. I know I've asked this more times than I had any right. But Ruby, that light's the only star I've got out here tonight. Ruby, don't turn off the porch light, not tonight. Forgive the miles, forgive the lateness. Forgive this working man his ways. You gave me more than I deserve, Ruby. I'll spend the rest of mine repaying every day. I'm crossing into Georgia now, the morning's turning red. I'll be home before the coffee cools and warming up your bed. The kids will still be sleeping and you'll hand me a warm cup. And that light'll still be burning, Ruby. You never gave it up.
One more song to ride along with the highway, the memories and the stories living in every chord. Here, country music never stops.
They say the old ways died somewhere around 62. But I still saddle up before the sun comes through. My boots are cracked from 30 winters in the dirt, and I never owned a thing that didn't come with sweat and hurt. I walked into a dime town. Like I rode straight out of some old picture on the wall. I tipped my hat and ordered pie and didn't mind at all. Cracked leather and gasoline, that's the only life I need. Give me open road and dry land, and just enough room to breathe. They move the fences all around me, change every road and every sign, but I'm cracked leather and gasoline, and I'm doing just fine. My granddaddy worked this range before the war came through. His daddy broke the first soil, laid the fence post straight and true. There's a line runs through my blood that ain't in any map, and I'll be the last one standing before I close that chapter's gap. They call me a relic, and they smile when I go past, like I'm some kind of fading thing, too stubborn just to last. Well, relics don't apologize for knowing who they are, and this old cowboy still can read his way home by the stars. Cracked leather and gasoline, that's the only life I need. Give me open road and dry land, and just enough room to breathe. They move the fences all around me, change every road and every sign, but I'm cracked leather and gasoline, and I'm doing just fine. Call me out of time, call me out of place, call me what you want on my face, but I'll be riding out at sunup in the blue, doing what my granddaddy taught me to do. Cracked leather and gasoline, rolling down to the end of the line. Cracked leather and gasoline, Lord, I'm doing just fine. There's a storm laid down on Macon, like a judgment from above, and this motel room is paper thin and 40 miles from love. I paid $11 to a man who didn't ask, and I'm sitting in this silence with the rain behind it match. The wallpaper is peeling at the corners near the floor, and the pipes are singing low the way they do before a pour. I know this kind of evening, I have lived this kind of night, when the weight of what is over just won't let you sleep right. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, nothing left to do but feel. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, this is way too lonesome to be real. She used to love the rain, said it cleaned the world of pain. Well, go on, rain, go on and pour. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, wash me clean of her once more. We married in the spring in Birmingham in borrowed shoes. She wore wildflowers in her hair, and neither of us knew that forever has a ceiling
and a floor beneath its words. And the sweetest kind of promise is the kind that don't get hurt. I turned her ring around my finger till the gold wore thin. Then one August she was packing and I let her begin. Some fights you lose before the first word leaves your throat. And I'm here in rainy Macon, wearing her ghost like a coat. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, nothing left to do but feel. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, this is way too lonesome to be real. She used to love the rain, said it cleaned the world of pain. Well, go on, rain, go on and pour. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, wash me clean of her once more. I don't blame her for the leaving. Lord, she warned me more than once. I just blame this Georgia weather for turning me back into a man who can't. By morning this will pass the way that Georgia storms go through. I'll wash my face and hit the road towards somewhere warm and new. But tonight I'll let the rain have me and I won't make a sound. Sometimes Macon, Georgia's just the place where men go to be found. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, nothing left to do but feel. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, this is way too lonesome to be real. She used to love the rain, said it cleaned the world of pain. Well, go on, rain, go on and pour. Rainy night in Macon, Georgia, wash me clean of her once more.
Wanna used to love you. Mama used to sing by the same door light while the crickets dance through the southern night. Daddy smoked Lucky Strikes in the yard, talking about working, praying hard. Now the paint peels off that old white frame, but the wind still whispers my family name. Every road I take leads back somehow to that little porch I'm missing now. Oh, Alabama, hold me near, like the songs I used to hear. Sweet tea nights and gospel rain, I'd give the world to go again to Mama's porch and that old swing where broken hearts could still believe. Away. Oh, Alabama, hold me near, like the songs I used to hear. Sweet tea nights and gospel rain, I'd give the world to go again to Mama's porch and that old swing where broken hearts could still believe. There's an old bar down in Wichita where the same sad cowboys drink too hard. A steel guitar cries every night like a wounded bird under neon light.
beside your bed. The night your goodbye finally got said. Now all I got is this barstool view and a half-dead dream of me and you. Cold beer and empty boots, that's all this broken cowboy's got to lose. No rodeo left in my soul tonight, just smoke and sorrow under dim bar light. Cold beer and empty boots, and memories that cut clean through. Some women leave like summer rain, some leave scars that never fade. Packed her bags in the middle of June, left before the harvest moon. Chevrolet humming down the lane, leaving me with dust and rain. Now every night I hear that sound of tires rolling out of town, and every mile she drove away took another piece of me. Tail lights on Highway 61 burned like fire when the night begun. Lord, I watched her disappear like smoke and whiskey in the rearview mirror. Now this town feels cold and still since she rolled beyond that hill. Tail lights on Highway 61 left me lonely as the setting sun. Freedom comes with a painful cost. Sometimes love gets somewhere lost. There's a rusty Ford by the riverbank, parked beneath the sycamore trees. Summer of 1964, when you first fell in love with me. I was 20 with a borrowed coat, working nights at the Texaco. You wore my jacket on your shoulders while the river rolled slow below. We'd sneak away after the picture show with a six-pack cold in the trunk. Radio playing out of Nashville while the dashboard lights softly glowed. Your feet up high on the windshield frame, hair tangled wild in the wind. You said someday we'll see California like this town could never hold us in. Rusty Ford by the riverbank, still holding on to what time can't take. Blue jean nights and cheap red wine, young hearts burning through summertime. And every star above that stream still shines on those old runaway dreams. Though the years rolled by like pouring rain, part of me stayed by that riverbank. Friday nights at the county dance, slow dancing clothes beneath neon restless to settle down. I wanted freedom on endless highways. You wanted roots in our hometown. And somewhere between those two dreams, love slipped quietly away, like smoke rising from my father's Marlboros at the end of a long, hard day. Rusty Ford by the riverbank still echoes every word you sang. Firefly skies and your soft blue eyes, July heat and county fair nights, and every moon above those trees still hangs where you once leaned on me. Though the river keeps rolling on, my soul still drifts where you've gone. I heard you married in '69 to a banker somewhere down in Tennessee. Probably got a porch with children now and a life better than mine could be. Me, I spent years chasing highways from Oklahoma down to Carolina, but every lonely roadside diner still somehow leads me back in time. And sometimes when the night gets quiet and the whiskey burns just right, I can still hear your laughter echo across those southern summer nights. Some memories never fade away, they just soften with the years, like old country songs on fading vinyl or mama's Sunday prayers. And if I close my eyes long enough, I still see that old Ford glowing dim. Two 20-year-old kids in love, thinking life would never end. Rusty Ford by the riverbank, that old truck still knows our names. Where young hearts race like runaway trains before goodbye and growing pain. And every star above that stream still guards those reckless teenage dreams. No matter where this road may end, my heart stays young by that riverbank. There's a rusty Ford by the riverbank, covered now in dust and rain, but every sunset through those trees brings 1964 again.
Bartender says it's closing time, chairs going upside down again. Smoke hangs heavy in the neon light like ghosts that never learn to end. I'm the last man by the counter now. Well, yesterday's still on my mind. Then your favorite record starts to play and suddenly you're back tonight. I can still see your red cotton dress spinning slow across the floor. Your head leans softly on my chest like you never leave this town before. We were 21 and reckless then, summer of 1965. Drinking long necks, chasing radio songs, believing love could stay alive. One more quarter for the jukebox, one more memory to unlock. Let Patsy cry and Conway sing like they still know everything. And if I hear our song once more, maybe my heart won't hurt no more. One more quarter for the jukebox before this lonely night gets lost. That old machine beside the wall still glows golden cherry red. Every scratch inside those records sounds like words we never said. Truckers drifting from the highway, couple laugh and disappear. But every slow dance in this barroom still somehow pulls you near. You left town in early autumn with a suitcase and your daddy's name. Said you needed something bigger than this dusty life we knew the same. I stayed behind at Miller's garage, turning wrenches day by day. But every Friday night since then, I come here and replay. One more quarter for the jukebox, jukebox, one more dream to let unlock. Steel guitars and smoky air still make it feel like you're somewhere. And every lonely country tune still spins beneath this pale saloon moon. One more quarter for the jukebox before the neon darkness drops. Funny how a melody can stay long after love has gone away, like perfume trapped inside a coat or your handwriting on old notes. And every time that needle falls, I still hear your laughter through these walls, like somewhere deep between the sound, the girl I lost still hangs around. One more quarter for the jukebox, let the heartbreak never stop. Let those old songs softly play and carry me back yesterday to two young hearts too blind to see how fast love turns to memory. One more quarter for the jukebox before they shut these sad lights off. Bartender says it's closing time, but I ain't ready to leave yet. 'Cause somewhere in these old songs you still haven't left me yet.
There's a little cafe off Highway 10 where the truckers roll in at dawn. Waitress pouring coffee black while the radio softly plays along. I was 22 that winter, working down at the lumber yard. Hands cut rough from Carolina pine, trying to make a life from hard. You'd walk in every Friday night with your hair tied back in blue. Order cherry pie and a Coca-Cola, Lord, that's when I first saw you. Snow fell light outside, the windows neon glowing red and gold. You'd laugh and spin that silver spoon like you had stories left untold. We'd sit there till they closed the place, talking low about getting out. You dreamed in Nashville and singing songs I just dreamed of following you south. And every time Patsy came on the jukebox, you'd hum along beneath your breath, like somehow those old country records already knew what love meant. Cigarettes, coffee, and you, that's all my young heart ever knew. Late night talks and dashboard stars, dreaming life beyond these bars. And every song the jukebox played still pulls me back to yesterday. Cigarettes, coffee, and you still feel warmer than the truth. Spring came fast to Tennessee, and so did restless hearts. You left town in your brother's Ford, chasing neon boulevard stars. I still remember that rainy night, standing underneath the station light. You kissed me once and held my hand like you knew we were out of time. I stayed behind in that small town life, fixing engines day by day. But every lonely diner booth still carries your name somehow. Cigarettes, coffee, and you still linger like old perfume. Steel guitar and pouring rain bring your memory back again. And every road I travel now still leads me where we once were found. Cigarettes, coffee, and you still haunt everything I do. Funny how young love feels eternal when the world still moves slow before life turns boys into strangers and dreams into roads unknown. And sometimes when the night gets quiet and the bars begin to close, I still see your reflection dancing in the diner window glow. Cigarettes, coffee, and you, that's what made those years feel true. cherry lips and small town nights, burning underneath neon lights. And though the seasons came and went, you still where my young heart stayed bent. Cigarettes, coffee, and you. Lord, I never got over you. There's a little cafe off Highway 10, still glowing soft at night. And somewhere in that jukebox sound, you're still 22 tonight. Picture on the dashboard, Bible underneath the seat, another lonely state line, another town I'll never keep. The moon hangs over Kansas like an old porch light at home, and every passing mile tonight makes me feel more alone. Miles from home, miles from you, running from the past like broken people do. But no matter where this highway goes, or how far these tires roam, there's still a part of me tonight. It's miles from home. I miss those Sunday mornings, Daddy humming low. Now all I hear is engine noise and the cold night radio. Funny how a man keeps searching for what he already lost. Miles from home, under endless skies, trying to find peace somewhere before this old heart dies. There's an old Sinclair station just outside our county line, where me and the boys would waste our paychecks every Friday night on time, polishing chrome on Daddy's Chevrolet, hair slicked back like movie stars, radio playing Buck Owens loud while we leaned against our cars. You come walking through the parking lot in that white cotton summer dress. Every young man in Jackson
Jackson County would stop and stare. I must confess, we were barely 20 years old, still believing dreams came free. Small town hearts with nowhere to go except wherever the road might lead. We'd drive out past the railroad tracks to the hill above Miller's farm, sharing warm Coke bottles and cigarettes with your hand wrapped around my arm. The world felt bigger back in those days underneath those southern skies, before life got fast and complicated and love learned how to say goodbye. Saturday nights in '67 felt a little bit like heaven. Neon signs and radio songs back when nights lasted all night long. Blue jean dreams and county fair lights, slow dancing underneath moonlight. And every old song still takes me there, to those young hearts hanging in the summer air. Drive-in played old western movies while thunder rolled out in the dark. We'd sneak down by the riverbank and carve our names into the bark. You talked about California beaches and singing somewhere on TV. I talked about buying a little house and keeping you here with me. But time moves fast for restless people, and autumn came before we knew. You left town in late September and took my best years along with you. Saturday nights in '67 still feel warmer than this life I'm living. Steel guitars and diner lights echo through my mind tonight, and every jukebox melody still sounds like you and me. Saturday nights in '67 still live somewhere inside my head. Funny how memories stay frozen while the years keep rolling on, like old records spinning softly long after the music's gone. And sometimes when the moon hangs low and the highway hums outside, I swear I still see your silhouette riding with me one more night. Saturday nights in '67, where young love felt innocent, taillights glowing cherry red with wild forever in our heads. And though this world kept moving on, part of me never left that song. Saturday nights in '67, that's where my heart still lives again. There's an old Sinclair station rusting slowly out of time, but every summer wind still carries those young dreams back through my mind. The sun was sinking past the cotton fields, painting gold across the hood. I was driving Daddy's old Ford truck like every small town boy once would. AM radio buzzing soft and low, static in the Tennessee air. Then your favorite singer came on and suddenly you were everywhere. You were 20 in the summer of '68, hair blowing wild through the passenger side, bare feet resting on the dashboard and laughing like time was on our side. We spent our nights at the lakeside dock, sharing dreams beneath the stars, talking about California coastlines and buying little houses with porches and yards. You wanted diamonds and city lights, I just wanted a simple life.
Sunday church and kids someday, maybe make you my wife. But young hearts pull in different directions like rivers after heavy rain. And somewhere between your dreams and mine, love slowly slipped away. Last song on the radio still follows me everywhere I go. Still guitars and summer skies bring back tears I still can't hide. And every lonely highway line still leads me back to another time when your hand fit perfectly in mine. Like a last song on the radio. You left town in early November with 2 suitcases and your mama's ring. I watched your Greyhound disappear while cold wind carried falling leaves. I stayed here fixing engines at Wilson Shop for all these years. Same courthouse, same stoplight, same old bar serving beer. But every Friday when the sun goes down and neon lights begin to glow, I still roll down these back roads slow, listen to that old radio. Last song on the radio still sounds like long ago. Cherry Coke kisses and county fair nights, young love underneath dashboard lights. And every old familiar tune still pulls me back to me and you, like those summers never had to end. And you were still my best friend. Funny how a melody survives long after people say goodbye. Like tire tracks down old dirt roads, the smoke rings drifting through the night slow. And sometimes when the signal fades through all that static and delay, I swear I hear your voice again, calling my name like way back then. Last song on the radio, last place my heart can go before the night turns cold and black and memory fades into the past. But every steel guitar that cries still keeps your ghost here by my side, like some old dream that won't let go. The last song on the radio. Now the moon hangs high above these fields and the highway rolls on slow. But somewhere deep inside that static, we're still young on that old road.
Keep riding with us through the roads of classic country. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next playlists.